Let's welcome Chad Haselhorst back to the studio here at the Big 550. Chad?
Hey, you guys.
Chad!
Good to be back.
Chad gets an
Feeling
applause.
right home here now.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's the first time we've had a guy here so often that we feel like we need to applaud when he walks in the room. I think really what it is a lot of us want to be able to call you personally and go, I got a problem. And then you're going to come over to our house and fix whatever it is.
I already got a list of long.
Do you? All right. Yeah, and all your friends. This is the SumnerOne Tech Talk segment, and we're talking to Chad. By the way, you a father?
Yes.
Are you? Happy Father's Day early.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I want to make sure. I've been forgetting to tell our male guests that have been on the show Happy Father's Day, so I want to make sure I got that out of the way. How many kids?
I got two, 4
Two?
and 7-year-old.
4? Oh,
They keep my hands full.
I'll bet. Yep. All right, so we want to talk about software licensing. I just got this. I put in an SSD drive to my computer, which is kind of cool because I had the old, hard drive that had the moving parts.
Spinning disc.
Spinning disc, right? And eventually it starts to slow down. So I went out and got a solid state drive, and it's fabulous. It doesn't make any noise, But for some reason, some of my software says, "Hey, you need to put in your licensing, details. Put in the codes."
Switching your software from
Right.
one hard drive to another. Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't know what they are, and I didn't write that stuff down, so I'm lost.
With some of that is a real problem if you don't keep track of your serial keys.
Yes, serial keys. That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
your serial keys for home use. You install it once and then no one thinks about it until you get a new computer.
Sure.
3 or 4 or 5 years later.
Yes.
So
Well, let me ask you that. Then that's a great way to start with this. For personal use, and I'm not saying, I know you guys do a lot with businesses, but for those of us who have just the, desktop computer at home, what's the best way for us to keep track of that kind of stuff? I mean, maybe a ledger. I don't, but I don't want to lose that again.
well, if you were talking earlier with Steve, when you have a password manager,
Yes.
you can easily just put your serial keys in there with it, just to
Oh,
keep track
yeah.
of stuff that way. Or when you have a large purchase or keeping receipts, just throw it in your receipt box, and then you can always go dig it out later.
I don't have that.
I got a shoebox filled.
I do have a, the password manager though.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it'll save them. But I just didn't think about that.
Yeah, you can throw them right in there, and then that way you have your password for it, you have your information to reinstall, and then you're just good to go.
And those passwords are unique to you because when you registered with the software company, those passwords were input. So they do have them on file. Are they pretty amenable if you call and say, or if you,
No.
No?
Well, depends on if you can show that you purchase it. They may be able to. Depends on where you buy. If you buy something from Walmart, no one's going to be able to figure out which serial key you got from
Got
a Microsoft Office.
Sure.
But if you buy it maybe directly from the website and you have a login with your email address and you have an account that you set up when you purchased it,
Got it.
you can always go through and find it that way.
Okay, so it's important to make sure you keep
Yes.
those serial keys.
Is there a limit on how long you can use the serial keys? Like,
Uh,
let's say you have a really old computer and you got that
You can-
game 10 years ago or something.
Well, you can use the software forever as
Okay.
long as it's good. But
It's licensed to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if when you start changing it and it's like, wait, you need a
Yeah.
new version or this or that.
Some software is specific that if you install it on one machine, you can't uninstall it and put it on another machine, but that's usually very specific software. Most
Okay.
will let you uninstall it from your current machine and put it on a new machine. And then some licensing, like the new Office 365, if you have an account with them, you can install Microsoft Office on 5 separate computers legally with your account
Oh.
to use.
And taking that a step further, businesses, how do they get around all that? Because a lot of times people come and go in a company and those kinds of things could get lost.
Yeah, that's why we help companies a lot with that, trying to manage licenses and making sure that they are within the law. Because first off, it's just the right thing to do. Just like how musicians get their music stolen. Software, it takes a lot of energy to create this kind of stuff for people to use.
Is it possible for companies to be using unlicensed software and not know it?
Yes, unfortunately, it is possible. If you think about small companies, if you have a company maybe of 20 to 50 people, there may be only one person that's in charge of all the software. And if they decide they don't want to buy extra software, or someone tells them they can't buy more software, but they have to put it on machines, they do something. And usually it's not legal.
Or they get a check to go out and get the software, and they endorse it over to themselves.
Ooh.
And they put that other software on there.
Or even more diabolical, they can install the software they know is illegal, then turn the company in for having illegal software installed. And then get a reward for turning them in.
What kind of reward is it?
I think the largest one from one of the major groups is called the Software Business Alliance. Microsoft, Oracle, a lot of them are involved in that to try to make sure companies stay on top of their software. But I think the largest they offer is $1 million on the settlement.
We're taking this place down.
Our IT guy.
Yeah.
So, Jose, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I think we can get him in jail.
And I think we're going to get $1 million.
I think we are going to be rich.
Hey,
and Jose's
Chad.
going to be in jail.
Chad, how would you like to split it 4 ways
No.
here?
He gets
We'll talk
20%.
later.
Okay.
All right. Talk to me before you start making deals.
This place is going down into the ground.
Right, okay. So let's talk about the different types of licensing options people
Oh,
have.
there's tons of different licensing. Sometimes licensing is done by a per user on a computer,
Mhm.
or just per computer. So you could license the software. So as many people that use one terminal can use that software.
So, but it's more expensive the more computers, obviously,
Yeah,
that
well,
you use.
the pricing structures vary depending on which kind of software you're using
Got it.
and how they like to do it.
All right.
But,
What are you telling me?
This is the international sign for a car, which indicates traffic, which I normally do whenever we're
I know.
running out of
I
time.
know. I thought you had a question, and I look over here, and he's doing. Yeah, don't forget, we got to go to
I
traffic.
was practicing Tybo guy.
We're talking to Chad Haselhorst, one of our experts at SumnerOne, and this is the Tech Talk segment on the Guy Phillips Show. So before we let you go, maybe you can give us some of the key things to look for when folks are purchasing software licenses
Well,
for business.
Businesses, really go through a reputable vendor. You can create a better relationship, and then when you have problems with it, you can get support directly from the vendor. There's statistics like if you increase your compliance by 20%, you can increase your business productivity by 11%. It increases users less time that they have to call people for help, keeping
Sure.
things more updated, less likely to install malware or a fake program that is really a virus on a computer.
Yeah, you spend a little bit more up front. It costs you a lot less in the
Yeah.
future. Yeah, that's great. And what about individuals before we let you go, Chad? People buying software. What are the pitfalls? Should they stay away from certain, like online or?
Well, sometimes it's better to buy the monthly recurring subscriptions,
okay.
like Adobe Acrobat has gone to that.
Yes.
And also, some people think the software, it's $200-300 for software, but they really don't need that specific software. They just see everybody else using it. Like there is AutoCAD. People that is an engineering one, but there's very scaled down versions people can get that are freeware to do small things at home if they want to. They don't have to have all the bells and whistles to complete what they want to do.
Thank you,
To
Chad.
shop around.
Yeah, you know what? You guys are awesome. Give us a little skinny about what you do at SumnerOne.
SumnerOne is the place where everything works. If it plugs into a wall and it plugs into the internet, we can probably fix it for you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Chad Haselhorst, our IT expert from SumnerOne. It's Guy Phillips. Now let's go to our Golden Oak Lending Traffic Center. Tim Wineland's got the Friday Rush for you.